Shout out to everybody on the YouTube side. What is going on? We in the JC Lounge. Shout out to everybody on the TikTok side. What's up, y'all? What is going on? What's up, Craig? What's going on? My man said we got pushed around. Not a good sign for the playoffs. Yeah, man. It's so unfortunate, when you have situations like this happening, with our Dallas Cowboys, because the thing is, like, this team has so much talent, guys, like, and there are no excuses when it comes down to us. One thing I do know is, like, when you're looking at the NFL, everybody has holes, bro. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, they talk about the wide receiver position. They're talking about the one technique position. Usually when you have the better coaches, and I feel as though that Dan Quinn is a very, very good coach. Don't get me wrong. But the great coaches, whenever you have a hole somewhere, like a one technique position, you got to scheme and find ways to be able to make sure that teams do not exploit that. You know what I'm saying? So it's huge. It's huge. I know the one technique position is very, very important. But the thing is, just gap integrity, just doing all the little things is very important for everybody on that defense. Let's see. Hold on. I think it kind of shut off. Okay. He said we are too small on a defense. Yeah, man. I mean, when you're looking at guys like Marquise Bell is a very, very good player. But the thing is, like, when you have offensive line getting to that second level, bro, and washing you out of plays, you're going to go through a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? So we just got to get back to the little things. I know that it's unfortunate. It's so crazy because this was the type of game, right? Like when you're playing against the Eagles and you beat the Eagles when those guys were on a high, and you beat those guys on Sunday Night Football the way we did. Had a good time when we went out there to Texas for the game and all that good stuff. But the thing is, when you beat a team like that and you're so high up, and so many people that's raving about you, the 3 and 4 letter networks, they're talking so good about you. You got to stay even keeled, man. You got to figure it out. Like, this is not over. When you look at teams like Buffalo, we knew Buffalo they're in playoff mode right now. They're the type of team right now that's in playoff mode. So we know how that go. The better teams, you go out there, you scheme and get it right. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's huge. All right. My man said we have safeties playing linebacker. Yeah, I like Marquise Bell a lot. He's one of the guys that I really, really like. I think that he has the type of talent that, he can be able to, he can wreck games. He can strip the ball out. He can roam sideline to sideline. The film doesn't lie. Sideline to sideline, reading, diagnosing plays, but just putting this guy in position, that's what's going to be important, bro. You got to make sure you put him in position. But the thing is, like, when you look at the whole thing and you see the beginning of this whole game and seeing how it was all playing out, the penalties was killing us, y'all. When you see Sam Williams, when you see guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, those guys are getting rough in the passer, running into the kicker. That's how you can that's how games flip, and you don't want things like that to happen. Let me make sure I'm tapped in. Anybody tapped in on the YouTube side? Hopefully this joint's straight. I don't even know if this joint is tapped in or not, but we'll see. Hopefully it is, though. Let me make sure. I think so. I think I'm good. But yeah, man, it's crazy how things like that happen, with that linebacker position. We have to make sure we get that right, that defensive line position as well. But the thing is, like, when you have guys like Jonathan Hankins, he ended up being injured. It's huge. It's important. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have guys that at that one technique position to be able to stop the run. Guys like DeMarcus Lawrence, they're going to have to set the edge. It's little things like that matters. It's huge. He said, how did Sam Williams miss that punt? Yeah, hey, bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. It was just crazy just seeing how that all played out. Because you're supposed to block the punt, you know what I mean? But he didn't block that punt. But sometimes things happen, and you got to understand this. Like, when you're playing in the NFL, there's so many good teams that's out there. You cannot take any of these guys lightly. Even if you're playing the Arizona Cardinals, the New York Jets, any of these teams. And when you see guys like Josh Allen, we know that these guys are in playoff mode now. The better teams, you figure things out, regardless of where you're playing at. You could be playing at home, you could be playing away, inclement weather. Just same thing that we were doing in the 90s. We were doing the same thing in the 90s. We went out there and stopped teams and strapped those boys and won big time games. You have to do that now. You know what I'm saying? The time is now. There's no excuses. Hey, shout out to my man Dwayne. What's up, bro? What's good, man? What's going on, man? Nothing much, man. Just talking about this game, bro. It's so crazy that, we like I said from the beginning, we got so high on this team But we got to understand that, man, there's so many athletes out there. You cannot take any team lightly in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? So there's things that we have to fix, not just the athletes on the field, but the coaching staff as well. Putting guys in position. Guys like Michael Parsons, you got to get him going. Don't have this guy just playing at that pass rushing position. If you're doing that, you're keeping him away from being able to do what he does best. Being able to roam sideline to sideline. You can stick him in A and B gaps, do all types of things. He has to be that queen on the chessboard, bro. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Dwayne. He said Sam Williams did that jump you do after you win the Super Bowl. Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And the thing is, I do like Sam Williams. He's a really, really good player. You know what I mean? But little things like that, the mental mistakes, you cannot have mental mistakes when it comes down to certain situations in the game, because at that point right there, we could have got the ball back, and we all know that momentum is everything. It's definitely everything. All right, let's see. My man said, I didn't expect them to win this game. A lot of people didn't, bro. A lot of people didn't. The thing is with me, Dallas has the talent. They have the team to be able to beat anybody that they lined up against. But I did have my questions about how high we was going up after us beating the Eagles. Going to Texas, seeing everything that was at Texas, the crowd, it was just so much. It's so much glamour when it comes down to the Dallas Cowboys. It's amazing going down there. But the thing is, man, I just don't want this team to just get so caught up into, all the hype. You have the talent, man. You just got to go out there and do it. All right, let's see. He said, would you bring Jalen Smith back? He is a real middle linebacker. I mean, hey, at this point right now, that's something that you might have to possibly take a look at. I mean, when you think about it though, bro, yeah, it could possibly help you out. But when you think long and hard about it, it's so late in the season right now that how much are these guys really going to make a difference? That's the thing. Everybody can't come in here and be a Amari Cooper where you just come right in here off the bat and then next thing you know, he out here balling. So sometimes it takes time. I did hear people say, what's his name? Ndamukong Suh. I mean, look, Jonathan Hankins, let's see how he is. If he can be able to get healthy, all the rest of the guys, let's just see how it all plays out. But not only the athletes out there, the coaching scheme matters, bro. It's going to be huge. All right, let's see. My man said a loss is great, but only if you show toughness. Yeah, man. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying, bro. You definitely got to show toughness during these times of losses and stuff like that. The way that the game was played out, it's just crazy how that all works, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, let's see. Shout out to my man Craig. He said, I don't want Suh. He has been doing nothing. Yeah, that's what. Hey, look, man. Suh's one of those guys that's been around for a long time. But when you got guys like Jonathan Hankins he's a space eater. Hopefully he can be able to get help, bro. Hopefully, we'll see. But with us, it's when you're thinking about Dak Prescott and the quarterback position, a lot of these people, ESPN, NFL Network, a lot of these people are going to be hating. They talk so much about the MVP award. Not worried about the MVP award, yo. At this point right now, the time is now for the Dallas Cowboys. These guys are not getting any younger. When you look at guys like Dak, Zach Martin, he's injured right now. DeMarcus Lawrence, a lot of those guys, don't get caught up into the accolades. This team has to win, guys. It's very important. It's huge. But my thing is, when you look at Mike McCarthy and the entire offense, you see guys like Jake Ferguson, all the rest of those athletes that we got at the wide receiver position, you want to get these guys involved early and often. But when you see that the type of defense that they played yesterday, they was putting a clip on the top of the defense. That's what they was putting a lid on the top of the defense. They has two safeties deep, middle field open. That was the type of game right there where Dak had to dink and dak, however you want to call it. Dink and dak, dink and dunk, because they wasn't giving you anything deep, but that's okay because the West Coast offense, is predicated to getting the ball out quick, right? Quick slants, quick out plays, little things like that. And then the defense, eventually they'll probably end up blitzing, and then that's when you can be able to find open guys. But it just didn't seem like it wasn't going right. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, Mike? Shout out to you. What's good, dog? Man, nothing much, man. Just talking about this game. I think that, when you look at everything and just see how everything is playing out right now, it's going to be a big test when it comes down to us. At this point right now, we played the Buffalo Bills. We got to play the Lions. It's so many more teams that we're gonna have to be lining up against that got explosive offenses. We got the guys, but hey, this is going to prove a lot coming up in these next few games. All right. Shout out to Craig. He said he did overthrow Cooks early on in the game, but that didn't really make the biggest difference, though. I mean, sometimes you're going to overthrow people, Craig. It happens. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes sacks going to happen, but what are you going to do the next play? What are you going to do the next down or the next possession? That's what matters, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like Dak Prescott, you don't have to be the perfect quarterback to be able to get to where you want to go and win Super Bowls. That's why people get so caught up with the MVP, being a top 3 quarterback. If you have that right offensive line, if you have the right playmakers and a good defense, you can win with a lot of quarterbacks in this league, guys. It's facts, you know what I'm saying? But the thing is, they just got to go do it. They got to go do it. All right, let's see. Yeah, man, but it's crazy. It's crazy how it all went down. The thing is with me, I just don't want us to get so caught up into, buying into all the hype that everybody is talking about. When you're hearing guys like Jaron Kearse, a lot of those guys Jaron Kearse is one of the guys that they have to put him in position, please, because going up against guys like Cooks, you don't want to have this guy in the open field. He's a linebacker in the safety's body. I think you can be able to implement him and he can be effective in Dan Quinn's type of scheme, but please don't have him in open field when it comes down to guys like Cooks or anybody that has well-oiled hips that is very, very athletic. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Hey, shout out to Andre. What's good, bro? What's good, dog? What's going on? My man said Philly got the division because they play us twice. Caleb Williams loading. I know, right? I know. I don't know. Did y'all end up winning your game yesterday? I was so locked in on a Buffalo game. It's crazy. We're going to see what the Philadelphia Eagles do tonight. But the thing is with us, I just think that, that offensive line, you want to make sure that's right. Hopefully Zach Martin, he can get his body right. Things can be good with him because that is a very, very, very critical when it comes down to his health. TJ Bass, I don't think he had the worst game. I'm definitely going to be running some tape on him. But that offensive line, we got to stay away from the penalties. That's huge. It's big. It's big. All right, my man said facts. 269 yards rushing by your opponent will leave you with the loss. Yeah, man. Yeah, and here's the thing, though, bro. Like, when you're sitting and you're playing Madden, right? I used to play Madden a lot. And if I'm playing for money and if I know if I can be able to run the ball on you and I can continue to keep running the ball on you, that's what I'm going to keep doing throughout the whole game. So my question is, when you're looking at Micah Parsons, he's playing on that edge, right? And if you look at the plays, every play is looking like he's trying to rush the passer like Josh Allen was throwing the ball. They're running the ball. So that's a scheme issue. I know that Micah Parsons, he's not going to say, oh, I don't want to play this position. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. But Dan Quinn, it comes down to him playing that linebacker position. A lot of those plays that that Cook made last night, I think that Micah Parsons would have been able to stop him in the open field, bro. All right, let's see. Okay, what's up, Mike? Shout out to you, bro. He said it looked like when the Zebras wasn't calling holding, they gave up. Hey, man, they was holding a lot of our guys throughout the game, bro. Definitely holding, but like I said, bro, there's definitely no excuses. When you see what's his name, DeMarcus Lawrence, when you get that roughing the passer penalty, when you get the other penalty from Sam Williams, that right there is when I knew, when I seen the sideline, it looked like the life was sucked out of them. I'm like, oh man, I don't know. This might end up being a hard game. This might be tough. All right, my man said Pollard was running well and we went away from him. Yeah, he definitely was running well, bro. But when you have a situation like we were in where, I mean, those guys are up like 3 touchdowns, sometimes we just get out of character. We're not really that good when we're playing from behind. You know what I'm saying? So we don't want to put ourselves in that type of position. It's just crazy how it all went down. But I just think that, with this type of team, the guys that we got out there, I think that they have enough to go out there and go do it. But they have to lock in and focus, bro. It is very, very huge. Dak Prescott getting these guys the ball, making sure you're utilizing guys like Brandon Cooks. You got to utilize CeeDee Lamb and guys like Jake Ferguson early on. You have to do that early on just to be able to get Dak Prescott comfortable and have him on the move as well. So it's huge. It's definitely huge. But shout out to everybody on the TikTok side, YouTube side, man. Shout out to y'all, man. All right, let's see. Yeah, but like the thing is, like when you look at that, look at their offense and see what Cook did to us. I mean, to rush that much on us and continuously just keep doing it, like it kind of like I was thinking about the game and it reminded me of the Rams game when we played in the playoffs, and I didn't like that type of, you know what I mean? You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that, you know, we can be able to stop the run, because when you're playing Philadelphia Eagles, when you're playing the 49ers, all these teams that's out there is critical, because if not, it's going to open up their playbook. It's going to open up, their whole playbook is going to explode. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out to Mr. Kima. What's up, dog? What's good, man? He said a lot of standing and looking, waiting for someone else to make the tackle. Yeah, man, that's another problem, bro. Not being able to rally to the ball. The good thing is I'm definitely going to be running some all 22. It's not going to be what people might want to see, but hey, we got to tell the truth when it comes down to JC Network. I mean, for the good and for the bad of the Dallas Cowboys, we just got to see what went wrong. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let's see. How about them Cowboys, man? How about them, man? But hey, I know we going through it. We going through it, man. Shout out to Brandon. What's going on, bro? What is going on? Yeah, man. But the thing is, like, when you see situations like Dan Quinn and the type of scheme that he played with last night, you want to make sure that you're able to adjust. When you're playing against the 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles, you got to keep 2 and 3 different type of schemes in your back pocket, because every game is different. Every situation is different. Sometimes you might end up making mistakes and you might be down 10-0 or down 14-0. So you want to be able to adjust. That's the main thing about the whole situation there. But the big thing is just that one technique position, man. We got to make sure we get that right. You don't want to have these guys getting to the second level, because these linebackers, they're just not that big enough. You know what I'm saying? But as far as Dak Prescott, man, I know a lot of people might talk trash. I know they might say whatever, but this is why I don't really listen to all the 3 and 4 letter networks, because I feel as though that Dak Prescott is that guy, man. He has a unique type of skill set, and a lot of people talk so much trash, but we just got to get everybody involved. We got to run the ball, just do everything. The defense, everybody got to be on point. If you can be able to do that, you can win on the road, guys. You can definitely win on the road. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, B-Bird? Shout out to you, dog. What's good? What is going on, man? What is going on? What is going on? All right, let's see. Shout out to Ricardo Green. He said, if you take your frustration out on the Dolphins, it would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, man. I mean, they're going to have to do something, bro. They're going to have to do something at this point right now. Like I said, man, these guys are not getting any younger. No excuses for us. No excuses. All right, let's see. I'm going to pick, if you guys want to tap in with me, I don't know if you guys want to tap in. Only was going to go live for a little bit because I got a few things going on. So if you guys want to tap in, y'all definitely can. I'll send a link real quick. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Yeah, man, but it's going to be a big test, though. Like, when you're playing against the Miami Dolphins, when you're playing against the Detroit Lions, those are teams with very, very explosive offenses. Let me see if it went through. I don't know if it went through or not. I think it did, though. Yeah, when you're playing against teams with explosive offenses like the Tyreek Hills and the Amon-Ra St. Browns, it's going to be a big test. So our corners, they're going to have to be on top of it. It's going to be critical seeing how that all plays out. But I trust those guys, because Dan Quinn, we've seen so much good football from our Dallas Cowboys, but we just like I said, I don't want us to buy into all the hype. Go out there and just bring those results out there on the field. All right, let's see. Let's see. Okay. All right, let me go here real quick. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, the tackling. Yeah, the one thing that I'm really concerned about right now is definitely the tackling. That is important. Being able to tackle. I remember a couple all 22s that I was running. The tackling. Some plays they were missing open field tackling. You don't want things like that to happen. You want to be able to lock in and get these guys down. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, I mean, if you get a guy down, I've seen some strip balls by Marquise Bell, but you still want to be able to tackle. That's very important, especially when you're going up against the CMCs. A lot of these guys at that running back position. That's one thing that I'm concerned about right now, guys, is the running game. You know what I'm saying? I think that once we can be able to get that and figure out what we can be able to do when, you know, you have 2 safeties deep. two guys that's just sitting back there. They don't want you to be able to throw deep on them, so you want to be able to get off those quick throws. Brandon Cooks didn't really do much of anything this past game. So you want to get him involved. A lot of these cornerbacks, these second corners, these third cornerbacks, they cannot guard him. You know what I'm saying? So you want to be able to get him going early, and guys like Jake Ferguson, it's going to be critical. You know what I'm saying? Down the stretch, it's going to be huge. Definitely going to be huge. But I mean, the thing is with me, like when you're looking at situations like this, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. And just like my man Dwayne said, you don't want to lose this type of way. But what are they going to do when the face of adversity smacks them? Are they going to step up to the plate, or are they going to fold? That's the thing that's where we are right now when it comes down to our Dallas Cowboys. And like I said, man, there's definitely no excuses. There's definitely no excuse. All right, let's see. Shout out to Ricardo. He said, I think this is my first time seeing you. What's good, bro? He said, not using James Cooks got Ken Dorsey out. Yeah, I know, right? The dude is a beast, bro. The dude is a beast, but I just think that, if we would have played them better, setting the edges, just having gap integrity, doing little things like that, I don't think he would have had the type of day that he had. And I trust a guy like Micah Parsons being able to be in open field against him, versus a guy like Jaron Kearse. You know what I'm saying? Even though I think that Jaron Kearse, I mean, he's good if you use him right. He's one of those dogs that, I mean, he'll go out there and guys hype, but you have to be able to utilize him right all throughout the game, and do not put this guy in space, because you have some slippery athletes out there, you know what I'm saying, that can beat him to the punch. So you don't want to get out schemed. All right, let's see. Hey, what's up, man? What's going on, B-Bird? I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah, what's up, man?
Hey, nothing much. I was just going to comment on the game yesterday. One of the things that I found out is that, and I think people have said it before.
I think it's blanking on you, bro. Can you hear me? I can't hear you, bro. Can you hear me, bro? Man, it probably rolled out on him. Yeah, tap back in with me though, bro. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, man, it's all good though. It's all good. Like, because at this point right now, I mean, this is why, I mean, we love our Dallas Cowboys. We know we're not going to win every game, you know what I'm saying? But this is going to be a big time test, you know what I'm saying? So I know that so many people are maligning us, so many people are talking bad, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. They got so much to prove. At this point right now in Dak Prescott's career, I mean, he has been playing better. And I do like the West Coast offense, the Texas Coast offense, whatever they want to call it. I do like them running that, the way that they're doing certain things, throwing the ball down the field. But understand that, I mean, if you can do a quick out play or a quick slant play just to get these guys going, getting the momentum going, get a first down is huge, because we got the ball right after the half and we had to punt. You know what I'm saying? So when things like that happen, I mean, that's when momentum can completely shift and you might not ever get it back. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, let me see. Can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, how about you? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you clear. You clear now. Yeah, it tapped out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Hey, so I think that what ends up, what we found out yesterday, when a team really wants to run on us and committed to running on us, they can do it due to the size of our linebackers. I don't really have I don't know how you even change that unless you find linebackers similar to San Francisco linebackers, at which they can play the run and they play the pass real well. Because if we find guys that are just 250-pound pluggers, then now they can't cover, tight ends, they can't cover running backs or whatever. Now we run into that issue. I think we built our team up, to me personally, man, to for our offense to dictate to other teams what they're going to do. When we can't do that, it brings about a problem. What I mean by that is, if we're at AT&T and we're throwing the ball around up 17-3, now we kind of dictate to the other team what they can do, and they try to throw the ball. Well, we got safeties playing, linebackers, so it's really hard because it's to our advantage. But I think yesterday was just one of those days, man. I talked to Scott today and just told him, man, I'm not really overly concerned about the results of that game. We are a dome team. We're a finesse offense. And going on the road after that emotional game, going to Buffalo, with them needing every game, and that weather, it's just the weather is not conducive to what we do. We throw the ball around in a 72-degree, rain-free, wind-free atmosphere at home.
Yeah.
Going to Buffalo was pretty much the opposite of that. And
see, but the thing is, one thing that's so crazy to me is like, I know that, you say that we are a dome team, and when you're playing against the Buffalo Bills, and we knew that they were going, they're in playoff mode right now, beating the Eagles and being on a high that we were on, bro, and you get that game over with, we beat those guys. And we know that our next week that we're playing, the next team that we're playing is the Buffalo Bills, who's in playoff mode. Wouldn't you think that the coaching staff, everybody will get these guys going and let these guys know that, hey, it's not going to be sweet against this team. We got to go out there and get this win.
Well, I think that, but they could say it all they want to. But the thing is, that was the game of the year for the Cowboys. The Eagles were. I mean, it was for the fans too. We all celebrated that game.
Oh, what the Eagles game? Yeah,
the Eagle game. Yeah. So for we had even the YouTubers, y'all all up there and going to the game. Nobody went to the Rams game like that.
Yeah, we were deep.
it was a lot of emphasis put on that game, man. And so to have to go, to New York, 47 degrees, raining. I'm sorry, man. People are gonna be like, that's no excuse, but to me, it's just hard for them to get up for that game emotionally. And with the weather being like it just wasn't conducive to Dak throwing the ball all around, man. I mean, it's just the way I see it. And I told Scott this morning, it's just my opinion, man.
They're gonna call excuses. I mean, let's keep it real. But it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's real. And a lot of us, I was talking with Coach Marv. Coach Marv was saying that that game on schedule was funny for him because of the weather and stuff like that. He didn't feel as though, he kind of felt funny about that. But I mean, just seeing, from the very, very beginning of the game, I mean, the mistakes that they were making, I knew that the game was going to be funny after Sam Williams got that on a punt, and he ran into the kicker, the punter.
Yeah.
Bro, I almost lost my mind because with penalties, it can shift momentum. It's so quickly, bro. So quick.
So can I tell you something about that block punt? What I found out a few years ago, because I was wondering why Bones Fossil kept going after block punts. Well, one of the things I found, I did a little bit of research, and I found that the roughing the kicker call was only called that year 3 times, and the running the kicker was called about 25 times. So what they found out is a little bit of glitch in the matrix. What they found out is if the team is deep in their territory and there's 10 yards or more to go, let's go after the kick, because most likely it's going to be a running into the kicker. And that's what was happening. And so what would happen is you run into the kicker, but then the team would just decline the penalty and you still get the ball. So you get to go after the kick. And even if you don't get it, the penalty most likely is not going to be roughing. So yesterday was just one of those days that it happened to be a roughing the call penalty. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so it was just one of those things that I kind of caught on year before last that he was doing. I said, why is he so aggressive? Yeah. And that's what I found out, that's what it is. They just don't call it roughing as much as they used to back in the days. You remember back in the days, you call it all the time. All the time. But they don't call it as much anymore.
Yeah, see, the thing is, man, it's just so crazy. I mean, the game was swinging so many different ways. That's why you think about the defense, you think about the offense. It's wild when it comes down to the defense because it just seemed like they just wasn't figuring it out. Give me your thoughts on when it comes down to Micah Parsons, because I know he was rushing on the edge. He didn't have the stats. They seemed like they just didn't scheme him the right way. What's your thoughts about Dan Quinn and Mike McCarthy, the way they've been utilizing him this past game?
Well, I just think when you put him at the defensive end position and put him out there and everybody knows he's going to be out there, I think you kind of, on running plays, he's not as effective as he could be at linebacker. Like yesterday, when we needed a bigger body, a more natural linebacker type guy there, I think that's when you move him back over. But I never really agreed with just putting him at defensive end totally anyway. I think you should always use him as your ace, where you a chess piece, you can move him around. We never know where he's going to be at. He may be at defensive end. He may be at, linebacker. He may be at left defensive end, right? Maybe in the middle, going over your center. I just think it should be. That's what they did with J.J. Watt in Houston. He just went everywhere over that line.
Everywhere.
And I think you do a person a disservice if you just sit him on the right defensive end and just say, hey, go get the quarterback. they just run away from him or something like that. So I think they should use it more as a chess piece instead of. Now, one of the things too, I think Mike don't necessarily want to be a linebacker either. I think he's looking at like dollars and the contract negotiations and sacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, that's the problem right there. Yeah, once they start doing that, bro, like, but this is, I mean, it's all business at the end of the day. You know what I mean? That's the thing that's unfortunate about it. But I mean, just like you said, though, like if you got to use him like a chess piece, playing that linebacker position, being able to close, he has the quickest closing speed out of any defender in the NFL. So you have to utilize him like that. But to be able to get you could get 2 or 3 tackles with no sacks. I mean, you're not utilizing him right. It's kind of, I mean, that is really troubling to me. You know what I mean? Because I think with his type of skill set, like what he has to offer on the football field, Dan Quinn can be able to utilize him. And just like you said, man, it's so hard to be able to contain a player like that when you don't know where he's coming from.
Well, here's the deal too. You say, who do we have at defensive end besides Michael? We have competent players. And then you say, well, who we have at linebacker? You see what I'm saying? I think he strengthens your linebacker group way more than weakens your defensive end group. You got guys that can play defensive end, that can get out. You got Sam Williams. You got guys that can play that defensive end role. And I think that you do better saying, okay, we'll let one of those guys do that, and we'll put Mike at linebacker. Now we're strong there also.
Yeah, facts. Hey, shout out to my man Dwayne. He said San Fran's linebackers play together. That's what makes them good. Yeah, them boys is nice over there, bro. They've got it figured out when it comes down to that linebacker position. And I'm not saying that Marquise Bell, Damone Clark, all those linebackers are bad players. Like they're solid players. And I think that, if you put them in a good position, those guys can be successful. They've done it all year long. But just like we said, when you're playing against those juggernauts, when you see the Bills, when you see the Philadelphia Eagles, you want to make sure that those offensive linemen, they're not getting to the second level. That's why we have questions about the one technique. You know what I'm saying? Hey, give me your thoughts when it comes down to the one technique. I know a lot of people have been talking about that, Mozzie Smith and, having Jonathan Hankins being hurt.
I don't really think that caused a problem. I think it was more rallying to the ball. You start looking at some of those runs. It was some great blocking on it, but it wasn't just a Mozzie issue. I think Jonathan Hankins would have helped because he's who he is. But that was the issue with the whole defense yesterday. I mean, we saw some early runs where they stopped at 5 and they pushed us forward. Buffalo just played with more of a will than what we had yesterday. I mean, they pushed us around, man. We got bullied yesterday. That's what it was. And it wasn't just one position. It was the whole defense as a unit. I think they showed that we were light in the pants, to be totally honest with you. And it was at the linebacker level to me. That's where I think that, you saw 14 get pushed around a lot, man. He's just not used to taking on those kind of linemen, man. That's not what he did in high school. It's not what he did in college. And now he's doing it here. And I just don't think that that's what he's, been made up to do, to be honest with you. When somebody decides to, hey, Allen only threw the ball like 11 times yesterday. So they just ran the ball down our throats. When they decide to run the ball, it's going to take a lot out of that guy, man.
Hey, shout out to Ricardo. He said, how do you prepare a game where Josh Allen only passes for 94 yards? I think the defense was expecting the reckless Josh Allen. Hey, look, that's what I'm saying, bro. That like it's so crazy because whenever you can be able to run the ball, it flips everything. The whole defensive scheme. I mean, they're not even when you can be able to run the ball like that, your whole playbook opens up. And they can pretty much do anything that they want to, but if they can continue to keep running the ball, they're going to run it down your throat. Yeah, Josh Allen is reckless, but that just makes it so much easier for a guy like him to be able to run the ball. And I've seen us stop the run better than what we did last night.
And you know what else? You know what else it does, JC? that was the quickest first half and the quickest second half I've seen all year, man. That game was fast, and I was like, my son was like, I have a 19-year-old. He was like, man, the game. I said, man, they're running the ball, and the clock was just running, man. And they controlled it. They controlled the, because they kept getting first down. So their drives were a lot longer than our drives. So, hey, man, look, they probably, I think Josh Allen made attempted like 11 passes. They're probably kicking themselves right now, saying we should even did that many. We should just ran the ball all the way, because they were never really unsuccessful running the ball. They did well with us yesterday and shorten the game. And for a passing team, man, that gets frustrating on the sideline when you're just sitting there all day. And then now you get in, now you start pressing, So it was just really a good combination of bad combination of things that happened to us yesterday. That and the untimely penalties, because every penalty we got was terribly untimely.
Crushing. Yeah, it was crushing.
Some of those penalties were pretty much, if you think about it, the block kick, the 15-yarder that extended their drive. Those are turnovers, man, because theoretically we would have got the ball back. Those are just akin to a turnover.
Yep. Shout out to my man Dwayne. He said Dan Quinn was good his years in Dallas. He gone after this year. Watch the next defensive coordinator use Micah like he's supposed to be used. It's crazy to me, Dwayne, because I got a lot of respect for Dan Quinn. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, when you're playing against these better teams, just making sure that you can be able to position these guys in pre-snap. The thing is, like, when you have Micah Parsons or any of those guys lined up way outside wide, like you're about to go, like they're about to pass the ball, it's going to be easy for those guys to be able to run the ball because they're so wide. It's all about scheme. I think that Dan Quinn has it. He understands what he wants out of his players. But the thing is, they got to get down to the little things. It's not just the coaching staff, it's the athletes as well. Those guys are going to have to step up, stay off X, Twitter, however they want to call it. Just lock in and focus, just like guys like Javon Curse, having him in space against Cook. He is so much more athletic than Cook, so you don't want things like that to happen. I think it's the little things, bro. Once they can be able to figure things like that out, I think that will be fine, B-Bird. But it's a lot of work to do. Like, I'm upset about last night, but I'm glad that something like this can happen, because the thing is, so that it can humble them and let them know, regardless whoever you playing, you can get beat by any team in this league and you can go right home, B-Bird. So hopefully they can be able to, get onto that and lock in.
Well, JC, what I told my son today, we had a conversation. I said, well, and he was like, at the end, I was saying, go and score again, Buffalo. And my son was looking at me like, why? I said, because, man, when you lose by a little bit, you thinking, I was right there, man. We don't really have to make a change. I said, but when you get blowed out, i.e. San Francisco, now you got to go back to the drawing board and say, hey, man, we got to do something. I say, this is going to make them do something. You see what I'm saying? And I don't like close games because you like a play here and a play there. No, they ran the ball down your throat. You got to figure out, because teams may see this and try to run the ball down your throat. What are you going to do to counteract that? And guess what? I'd rather it happen now than it happens in the playoffs, like the Rams game in the playoffs, right?
Oh my goodness. And then we go home. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? But one of my main concerns is just the pre-snap alignments, just making sure that everybody's in position, not trying to just be over to the left, you're shading too far to the right, or the edges, you're way too outside. You just got to understand the situations in the game. And if you do know that a team is just continuously running on you, now this is a copycat league. So a lot of these teams now, they're going to feel as though, okay, if our offensive lineman can get down to that second level at Marquise Bell or Damone Clark, maybe we can be able to gash these guys. So being able to counter that, I think it's going to be huge, man. We'll see. I mean, it's going to be a big test for everybody coming up these games.
So when I looked at the schedule, the two teams I thought that was going to be like on the road, or just period, there's going to be, hey, man, that's going to be a tough game right there. San Francisco, I actually thought that the Buffalo game was tougher than the Philly game to me, because we play against Philly a lot, you know what I'm saying, and we kind of know them, and we know they don't never really just blow us out. We've blown them out. But so I'm talking about at Philly. So I wasn't really concerned. I mean, Buffalo, I was concerned about, because I know that weather up there, because I think really, man, in my mind, like in the playoffs, I don't care who we play, as long as the weather's good. Again, we're a dome team, we're a throwing team. And what we want to do is get ahead on. I don't like the thing that you're talking about as far as replicating what Buffalo did. That's a possibility, but our offense has to do what it did yesterday too, not score. So if we're in a dry environment, everything's good. Hey, I think our offense is not going to allow another team just to sit there and run the ball like that, right? And so that's what I'm kind of banking on.
The only thing that's throwing me off, B-Bird, is like, this team is about that action, bro. They have to be able to beat teams regardless of the weather, regardless of the situation, not just being in a dome team. You know what I'm saying? That's like somebody just winning a lot saying, oh, I just want to, just do this in this type of situation. I just want to do that. Like, if you're a real championship team, these guys got to win anywhere. It's really simple. You know what I'm saying?
I do understand what you're saying, but you do get breaks, right? You things break your way. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to win a division. Okay, we need to. I think that I mean, the number one seed, I think, is gone. I think San Francisco is probably going to get that. But I think
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, but I would love to win the division and be the number two seed, because then we'll get a couple of home games, right? And so that's my mark is right now. Because let me tell you something, I don't fear going to San Fran. And me and my son been talking about today. I know it sounds crazy. We lost to them 3 times. I don't fear going to San Fran again. Not because our offense made it.
You think we can sting them over there this time?
I do, because I think that we were playing close to the best, playing Dink and Dak when we went there. And then after that game, we figured out that wasn't working, right? Like, we got to let Dak throw the ball. So they'll see a different offense. But what we're going to see is the same old San Fran team we see them again. So I'm not really concerned about that. So our sights need to be set on, hey, let's get this division, get the second best record in the league, or just get the division so we can have some home games, right? And then just take it from there and see where it takes us. You know what I'm saying? So like sometimes, man, you got to have things fall your way. I mean, if you look at the landscape of who's going to make the playoffs, I mean, it's not really a team in there with bad weather, but Philadelphia. So, I mean, just things might just fall our way like that. You got few dome teams in it, to be honest with you. And so it might just fall our way that way, man. I mean, I understand what you're saying. We should be able to do it. But teams have our last Super Bowl, we lost to San Francisco that year and got blown out by them. And we were looking forward to seeing them in the playoffs. It never got there because Green Bay beat them. Yeah. And so, but nobody, when you win a championship, nobody gives a damn about how you got it.
That's what I'm saying. Saying.
I'm just saying, man, that's just the way I look at it, man. When you build a team like this, man, you building them to throw the ball all around, and you go out there to an atmosphere that was there yesterday, they're just not going to be able to do it. I mean, there's no team in the league that's just throwing the ball for 350 yards in that kind of weather.
Yeah, nah. But exactly. But the thing is, it's just that, these are big games. We're in December right now, and you never know how this is going to shape out. But the thing is, like, when you see our team, Dak Prescott, all those guys that we have, man, there are no excuses for us. The offensive line, hopefully Zach Martin's good, bro. Hopefully he's good. I know he hurt his leg. It's going to be critical on that offensive line, being able to run the ball.
I saw a report that said he may play. He's highly likely to play this week. So it's a quad injury.
You said he's likely, highly likely?
Highly likely, yeah.
That's good. That's good. I'm still probably going to run an all 22 on TJ Bass, just so we can just get a good look for the good and for the bad of the player. At this point right now, we're making videos. It might not be the most prettiest B-Bird, but at the same time, it's going to be good, solid videos, just so we can be able to see exactly what these guys have been doing, bro. So it's going to be
and think about it is, man, like, when you lose a game like that, as long as you learn something from it, man, and we move forward. Yeah. I think last year, especially on offense with Kellen Moore here, we weren't learning anything. We just go back in with the same thing. One thing I have a little bit of promise in is that Mike McCarthy did change after the 49er game, right? And so this might be something he goes back to the drawing board with the D coordinator and just say, hey, man, somebody else might do this. What do we have here? Because it showed me that they don't mind changing, man. They got Brandon Cooks involved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gallup isn't getting that much playing time. And so a lot of things have changed,
one of the guys, bro. That's another one. That's one that's really bothering me. Hey, shout out to Ultra. He said Cowboys not winning the division, they will have to go on the road. I mean, it's crazy. They just gotta just keep winning, bro. Just keep winning. Any team that you planned up next, you gotta just keep winning, and we'll see how it all plays out. Like I said, they have the guys to go do it. We've lost a few games, and down the road, we're going to be seeing the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to see the 49ers, so they just got to prepare. And like I said, it's a copycat league, so a lot of these guys like to copy off each other, and being able to stop the run is going to be imperative down the stretch, Ultra, if we're going to be able to take that next step. All right, let's see.
Now go ahead, bro. If you get the number 2 seed, Philadelphia will get the number 5 if they win. They go to San Fran, right?
Yep.
And then we'll if the seeds go out like they're supposed to, we'll play Detroit in Dallas, and then
I'm okay playing Detroit. I'm okay with that.
Too.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Yeah, I am too. And so what that'll end up if you get Philadelphia and San Fran playing against each other. Well, you get 2 of the toughest teams. Only one of them gonna come out of that, and you only really have to go through one instead of having to go through 2 of them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why to me the division is important. Now it's not, and people are thinking that Philadelphia have an easy road. But New York's playing a little bit better now with their quarterback, right? They're a little bit rejuvenated with that young quarterback in there. So they have 2 games with him, and they have the game tonight with Seattle. So, and I can't remember who they got another game in between that. I can't remember who it was. But so their road looks easy, but it's not as easy as people think it is. So we just got to continue to win our games after this. I also think that we match up better with Miami this week than we do.
I think so too. I think so too. They got a lot of explosive players, but scheme is going to be important. I don't know where Tyreek Hill, how he is with his health right now, but it's going to be a good test because you will be seeing AJ Brown down the line. You will be seeing the Brandon Ayuk's. There's a lot of explosive receivers. They don't have just one receiver. You got Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, a lot of players. So our cornerbacks are going to be busy, bro. Definitely going to be busy.
Well, what we're built to stop passing offense. If you think about it, we got a great pass rush, not a great run stopping defense. Our linebackers are built for coverage. Our cornerbacks and our safeties our cornerbacks are good cover people. Our safeties are okay, but I'm saying that we're really built to stop the passing team, man. That's what we're built for. So when somebody runs on a team that's built for passing, they're going to be successful. Now, will Miami mirror that? I don't know. But I know that they want to throw the ball a lot with Tua and those wide receivers. And
they're going to do an air show, but they do run the ball though. They do run the ball.
Yeah.
Where Mostert runs the ball. Mostert
is
if they're pretty much like the same thing with Buffalo. If they feel as though that they can be able to run the whole game with Mostert and Devon A-Chain, they're going to do it. So setting the tone early on, setting the edges, doing the little things, having gap integrity, not playing hero ball. I'm going to be curious, bro, to see how they're going to utilize Micah Parsons this game. Because it's going to be another one of those games where you got an athletic quarterback. They got a good running game. They got very good athletes at that running back position. So do you want to have him sitting and rushing the passer on one side, or do you want to utilize him all over the field? So that's one thing that I'm going to be locked on when it comes down to Micah Parsons. That's why I said playing against the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions, these are big tests right before we get into the playoffs. But I'm glad we clinched, though. Glad to hear that we clinched, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We at least clinch. I mean, I know we're talking so much craziness about our team. It's so unfortunate that it caught us off guard by the play, but clinching in the playoffs, that's always a good feeling. But
let me ask you a question. How do you feel about us on the road? I guess playing against top tier talent. I think is a thing out there saying that top teams saying that we hadn't beat anybody good on the road, and we can't beat good teams on the road. What do you think about that? You think
with the way that this team is built, like when you have the offensive line that we have, when you have a Dak Prescott that's been in the league for 6 or 7 years, Tony Pollard, all of these athletes, you should be able to beat anybody you line up against anywhere. The defense is there. You got guys like Dan Quinn, but the thing is just the scheme. They just got to figure it out, because once we get to the playoffs, that's where we're going to be at. If we're playing away against the San Francisco 49ers, we got to get it done. Yeah. We've won games in the playoffs, but once we get down to these important games, I think that, bringing in guys like Jake Ferguson, Brandon Cooks, all of those guys, as long as they can be able to hear Dak's cadence, because we know that these are hostile environments, that's going to be important. I couldn't even hear Dak say, "Here we go" last night.
I don't think I heard it either, but I don't think he said it.
So loud. It was so loud. But,
I have a different take. I guess it's similar to like the Dak's interceptions last year. If you really break it down and look at it, you say, well, Dak's not an interception guy. This is an aberration. And some of these interceptions were, I think you chronicled that some of the interceptions, most of them, well, not most of them, but a lot of them weren't even his fault, right? There was wide receivers running wrong, ball hitting the guys in the hand or whatever. Yeah. So yeah. I look at the games that people talk about, which is the San Fran game. Well, San Fran, the best team in the league, right? And we got blown out by them. But what we did is we're a different team from that. I think you go to Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia game, we lost. But, it's not embarrassing to lose a game in Philadelphia, right? And we played good in that. I'll say we didn't lay an egg in that game. The Buffalo game, to me, it was just a tough game to play. It's a tough part of the schedule. The elements had a lot to do with it. And so it was just a real tough game. If you're looking at this thing just from
I ain't never seen them play that good. They played a pretty solid game against Kansas City, but they were on point when it came to us. Like the cornerbacks, playing sticky coverage. Bro, they didn't allow anything deep on us. Dak Prescott was the guy. He had to be able to dink and dunk this whole game. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they do with the West Coast offense. I mean, you get the ball out quick. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
kind of threw me off guard.
So I don't think it's a common thread in none of those games. That's what I'm trying to say. Like all of them are different. Like every game I just named is a different game, man. So it was just I just don't even buy into that. Like I think if we win this week, man, and just continue on like we've been doing, this just be a bump in the road. That's what I look at.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
And I'm hoping that. And let me tell you something. I'm not really the ultra optimistic person. It's just that I'm looking at it from does this really derail what we trying to do? And I say no, it's not really going to derail anything, right? Yeah. So if we can get back on track, right, and continue to do what we're doing, I still think, man, I think we're going to the bowl this year. I said that at the start of the season. I think we got all the elements there. I thought last year that our wide receiver core was poor and we were packing it along. Dak was. But I think this year we fixed that. We got some solid wide receivers, threats. Running backs are great. Offensive line is, great. Defense is good if we can get the offense to dictate to the other team's offense what it's going to do. We just got to get back to that formula where this team is started by the offense, right? That's what it is. And the offense is started by the passing game. That's what it is. That weather yesterday just was not conducive to that passing game working. Yep. And Buffalo did a real good job of, hey, we're going to make these guys, we're not going to give them nothing cheap. They got to earn everything.
They're going to earn everything.
They're going to earn everything. And guess what?
It's hard to play. It's hard to play like that in bad weather when you have to earn everything.
Absolutely.
Every quick play. Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
It was miserable weather.
But we know how that goes.
It was miserable weather. It's excuses and it's reasons, right? And that's just what it is. And that's just a reason to me. Like people could say it's an excuse, but I think it's just a reason. And so it is what it is, man. Again, I'm one of the ones that when I saw that game and it was over, I was like, it was just a game, man. Hey, we had that same game in 2018.
Yeah.
We had just beat Philadelphia in overtime. That's the one where Cooper caught that tip pass and ran it in.
Yeah.
You know what we went to next week? On the road to Indianapolis.
Yep.
You remember what the score was?
Yeah, that was not pretty. That was
23-0.
Yeah.
And guess what? What it is it's very hard. Man, look, I'll be real with you here. I'm a former gambler, and they always say this doesn't happen too often. They say if a team plays an emotional division game, then goes across the conference to play, you say always take the home team in that. Why? Because their emotions was all in that week before. It is too hard to get up for a team that don't mean that much to you.
But
we've been in that situation.
And I absolutely agree with you, man. But they're gonna call excuses, B-Bird.
but that's them. And what I'm trying to say is, if we, that's why I don't listen to Skip Shannon and Stephen A. I don't listen to none of those shows, man, because we've talked about that before. It's all just drummed up to get ratings. But if you want to get the real, you listen to your YouTubers or go listen to some of these guys on that Kurt Warners and stuff like that. People that just say, hey, let's get into the game. Forget all the clickbait stuff, all that kind of stuff. Let's get into the game. Right.
Facts.
That's why I don't listen. Like when somebody tell me, man, Dak got them interceptions, man, he throw too many interceptions. I don't really, okay, you've told me right now that you don't qualify for me to have a conversation with you. Because if you look at his whole career and you look at the interceptions last year, it wasn't all his fault. So you haven't really took the time to look at stuff. So you really get your information from Stephen A. and Shannon. Yep. So we can't really have a conversation, not an intelligence.
I don't get caught up into them. Hey, shout out to my man Dwayne Brown for the $10. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate you so much, man. He said, great show, JC. Good call, B-Bird. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, bro. It's crazy, Dwayne, man. It's wild because it's like we're going through this emotional roller coaster. And just like my man B-Bird said, like, we cannot get caught up into the 3 and 4 letter networks. They want things like this to happen. They know that we're a good team, but they just want clicks, bro. They want clicks, and they just got to lock in. It's so much talent when it comes down to us. It's not going to be easy when you're playing against all these teams, the Miami Dolphins, and then when you segue to the NFC, the Detroit Lions, the Philadelphia Eagles. These guys got a lot of talent, but with the Dallas Cowboys, they got to understand these other teams are talented, but what can you do to be able to get these teams out the way? How can we position ourselves and be able to scheme to be able to, win these games when they matter most? That's the main thing about the Dallas Cowboys at this point right now.
So JC, I tell you,
Shout out to you, though, Dwayne.
I got a conspiracy theory, man. I think our schedule is set, right? Like, we know now who we're playing next year, right? But
next year,
yeah. So because it's set, like you play your division and then you play another division and it keeps rotating.
Yeah.
And it just depends on if you win your division or whatever. But the thing is, and so my conspiracy is this: like, we know who we playing, but we don't know when we playing. So why don't we play Buffalo in September? That's just like, why doesn't that happen? Well, I think that the NFL wants to put Cowboys in cold weather games. So to back that up, I'll tell you this. I look back from 2010, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many final games of the year we've had at AT&T Stadium? Out of 14? 3.
The final game?
I'm talking about the 16th or 17th game of the year.
Yeah.
To end out the year, the regular season. With 3 at home and 11 on the road.
That's crazy.
No other
it's
team
been like that for a long time. But I remember back in the Tony Romo days, I remember, playing on the road towards the end of the season. Those were like nightmare games, bro.
They were. And they did. And so I think we played three times in a row with Tony Romo and win and get in games. All of them on the road. Philadelphia's, the New York's, and so the Giants and all that. All of them were on the road. Dude, they love putting us in conflict. That's why they do that. So they just this year we Washington, right? And so people say, well, Washington's bad, but Cowboys could be playing for something. They want to put us on. What they're trying to do is put us on the road, put us in some conflict. Well, what's the conflict? Weather. Think about the other 3 teams in our division: Philadelphia, New York, and Washington. In January, it's always cold. Mm-hmm. So that's why we don't play at home. And nobody's taking that on, but somebody needs to get to somewhere. And I think they doing that. I know they're doing it on purpose, right? Because we rarely get 3 out of 14 years. We're finishing at home.
That's a long
crazy.
time.
And
I know. I wonder what made you dig deep like that. You know what I'm saying? You're in the bag. You in your bag on that one, man. That's crazy. But I mean, the most important thing is, man, they just got to step up. This year, it's not going to be easy. It's not an easy road to get to where we want to go. You're going to have to go through so many of those teams in the playoffs, but it's going to be exciting to see. I just can't wait to see how this all plays out for these next few games, because it was a bad game. We know throughout the offense, the defense. I mean, this was pretty much an L throughout the whole organization. When you look at Jerry Jones, the coaching staff, everybody just holds the L on this game. But what can they do when the games matter most? How will they be able to respond after a game like that? This is how you can, this is how this builds character throughout the whole organization and the whole team. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if it tapped out on my man B-Bird, but man, hey, look, man, I appreciate y'all so much. I definitely wanted to come in here. We had to tap in here and talk about this game. I know it's a lot of different emotions, but I think that we'll be able to step up, man. But they just got to go out there and prove it, and we'll see. We'll definitely see how it all plays out. My man said, he said, I don't listen to the networks that is told what to say for ratings. Yeah, bro. Like I can't get caught up into any of that, bro. It's clickbait. A lot of those guys, they talk about us because we're a popular team. They love our team, bro. So they can't help themselves. You know what I mean? So we can't give. We have to just continue to keep winning. If we can be able to keep doing it, I think that we'll be good to go, man. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all so much. We will be back on. We got some good all 22s going on. Hey, y'all make sure y'all smash that like button. We don't go live too much. We've been hitting these all 22s with the channel has been blowing up, and I appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for all the love, and we'll be back in. We'll be back in, and we'll tap in for another video. I'll talk to y'all soon. Gone.